What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, or welcome to the channel. To start off with, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let's just get straight into it. Ilia Topuria versus Terence Crawford is an absolute joke, guys. You shouldn't entertain this at all in either sport. And I'm seeing a lot of delusional things from MMA guys, and I'm seeing a lot of delusional things from boxing guys. I don't think we should entertain this fight at all. And as I'm saying, I don't think we should entertain this fight. I'm entertaining it. Entertaining it by talking about it. You know, it kind of died down a little right now. It's been a couple days since it's been a few days since these conversations were really at their peak. Obviously, right after the Terence Crawford win, Topuria hopped on Twitter. Even before the Terence Crawford and Canelo fight, Topuria was already talking, saying he wants to fight the winner of Terence Crawford and Canelo. Obviously, we saw Terence Crawford, amazing performance, cemented himself as the #1 pound for pound and one of the greatest ever, most skilled ever. You know, I already thought before that fight Terence Crawford was one of the most skilled ever, but that just proved it even more. Him being able to do that to Canelo, which I still thought. Go watch my other video, what I thought about that fight. But we're not talking about that fight. We're talking about this potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Terence Crawford in either boxing or MMA. Now, at first, I want to talk about boxing. Ilia Topuria would get toyed around with one hand if it were a boxing match. I don't like that we're entertaining this. Is Ilia Topuria a very good boxer in the UFC? Yes, he's definitely above average, has power in his hands, very good boxing. Even for a boxer, he probably has good boxing, right? But guys, let's not pretend that Terence Crawford wouldn't just absolutely demolish Ilia Topuria in a boxing match. If they went into a boxing match, Terence Crawford would TKO, KO Topuria in 2 rounds. You know, Terence Crawford would be able to do whatever he wants. And also, let's talk about the size, man. Terence Crawford just fought at 168. Now, I think he's good at 154, right? But he just fought at 168. Looked big, looked strong. Terence Crawford is bigger, stronger. He's faster. And we're talking about boxing here. He's bigger, stronger, faster. More powerful, probably, too. Even more powerful. Like, straight hands, man. Terence Crawford would do murderous things to Ilia Topuria. And I do not like how people try to compare this to compare Conor McGregor and Ilia Topuria like this is the same situation. It isn't. Now, I know Ilia Topuria is on a similar path to Conor, but they're not the same at all. Ilia doesn't have the popularity that Conor does, and this fight alone would not sell anything. It wouldn't break any records. It wouldn't do anything, and no one would be talking about it except only people in combat sports, you know. So in boxing, this is an absolute joke. It really is, you know. Topuria is only a guy who throws hooks. He throws a jab, not too often, but he definitely has a jab. I don't know why I'm even trying to break down like their boxing compared to each other. Terence Crawford would murder Ilia Topuria in a boxing match. And this isn't like Floyd versus Mayweather where, you know, Mayweather's older, which he wasn't even that far off from what Terence Crawford is now, 38, right? How old was Floyd? In his early 40s when he fought McGregor. So it kind of is the same thing as far as age, right? But McGregor and Floyd were the same size. These guys, Terence Crawford is bigger. And also Terence Crawford just won. Just became a 3-time undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. He just beat Canelo. He just outskilled Canelo for 12 rounds, you know? So, we really shouldn't entertain this. And the fact that these delusional MMA fans are talking about, Topuria, he has really good boxing. He could go in there and starch. It only takes 1 punch. It doesn't only take 1 punch. It really doesn't. And I'm tired of hearing that argument of it only takes 1 punch. Topuria, he could starch him. No, he couldn't. Terence Crawford, under 2 rounds, under 3 rounds, destroys Topuria. Now, let's talk about MMA, because Terrence Crawford, he's a wrestler, man. He knows how to wrestle, but he doesn't know how to wrestle. He doesn't really know how to wrestle. And if you know anything about anything, you know Topuria would beat Terrence Crawford in 2 minutes. You know, if it was an MMA, and I've seen these boxing guys say, guys, Terrence Crawford has wrestling. He could shock the takedowns from Topuria, keep it on the feet, and he would knock Topuria out. That's not true at all. I know Terrence Crawford is a good wrestler, but I think he only wrestled in high school. And just because there are those clips of Terrence Crawford, you know, manhandling people who don't know how to wrestle at all. Yes, Terrence Crawford is probably a good wrestler. He's a very athletic guy. He's a winner. You know, he's just one of those guys. He could put his mind to anything and become good at it. That's what Terrence Crawford is. He's one of those guys. And I saw this take on TikTok. I forgot the guy's name. I'm actually a fan of this guy on TikTok. I think his TikTok name is The Jeg or something. I'm not too sure. I believe that I might be getting it wrong. He said if you give Terrence Crawford a year to develop takedown defense, he would be able to beat Ilia Topuria in MMA. That's absolutely delusional, and you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to wrestling. Ilia Topuria, if they fought, he could even knock out Terrence Crawford on the feet in MMA. People are forgetting Topuria has a really good kicks. He has a good spinning back kick. He'll chop up Terrence Crawford's legs. Even Terrence Crawford said, ain't no one gonna be kicking me. He said that, you know, he doesn't want anyone to be kicking him. And even on the feet, Topuria would do bad things to Terrence Crawford. Now, on the feet, if it was just a kickboxing fight, Terrence Crawford could probably win, you know, considering his size, and Topuria is not relying on his kicks and he's mostly relying on his boxing. I could see, you know, Terrence Crawford just starching Topuria on the feet, right? He could. That's a possibility. But in MMA, there's so many different aspects, and Ilia Topuria, he would shoot on Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford would not be able to defend it. You could give Terrence Crawford 1 year to develop takedown defense. He would not be able to defend Ilia Topuria trying to shoot on him. He would not be able to defend it at all. And you don't know what you're talking about if you're some delusional boxing fan just trying to get one over on MMA guys. And same thing for MMA guys trying to get one over on boxing. Goes both ends. It's like comparing basketball to football. They're completely different sports, and I'm surprised we haven't learned that yet. How have we not learned that yet? They're different sports. Boxers cannot go into MMA, and MMA fighters cannot go into boxing. You give Terrence Crawford 3 years to develop takedown defense. Topuria might get, he might shuck off a takedown of Topuria, but Topuria would go again and take him down. I don't think people understand truly how elite these top fighters grappling are. You know how we saw Terrence Crawford manhandling those guys on the lawn, manhandling these guys in the boxing gym, wrestling them. Ilia Topuria would do the same thing to Terrence Crawford right now if they were to just meet up, right? Let's stop entertaining it. It's terrible. Stick to their own sports for now. I would like to see, I do want to see a boxing versus MMA type thing. And, I thought Terrence Crawford was the one, to maybe come over to MMA because of his wrestling background. But even he knows, everyone knows. Well, if you know what you're talking about, you know that Terrence Crawford would get mauled in MMA. And you know that Ilia Topuria would get mauled in boxing. Let's talk about boxing in MMA a little bit. People in MMA do not know how to box properly. Ilia Topuria is one of the few guys who actually know how to box, and Joshua Van and Petr Yan. Even Dustin Poirier doesn't really know how to box like those guys. MMA fighters do not know how to box properly, and if you put them in boxing, it shows that they don't know how to box properly. To end this, guys, stop entertaining this. Stop dropping comments on. I'll go through a post that's like, oh, Ilia Topuria versus Terrence Crawford should happen. And I'll see people in the comments saying, Terrence Crawford should win, but Topuria has a chance to starch him. Or if this happens in MMA, Terrence Crawford has good wrestling and could definitely do good against Topuria. Let's stop, guys. Just because you've seen a clip of him wrestling someone on grass and doing good doesn't mean he can hop in there with Ilia Topuria, a guy who's been grappling, doing jiu-jitsu, Greco-Roman wrestling, freestyle his whole life, you know? So let's stop pretending. Let's stop living in a fantasy land. Guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment whatever you want. Let me know in the comments your opinion on this. I want to hear some delusional MMA fans, and I want to hear some delusional boxing fans. So drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And yeah, like, subscribe. Let me know what video I should do next also. Ilia Topuria would get smoked against Terrence Crawford in boxing. Terrence Crawford would get smoked by Ilia Topuria in MMA. End it.